All right, guys, I zoomed it in somehow. We're going to thank Piggly Wiggly here in McCalla and Ace Hardware, and Piggly Wiggly in Hueytown and Ace Hardware, and Camden Piggly Wiggly. Appreciate Sage and them down there. Y'all get a chance, go buy some groceries, man. They got a lot of sales going on at Piggly Wiggly. I shop there a lot often, but I want to thank all the sponsors, and we're going to get this baby started. So you get by here where I can click that off of there. All right, now we're back. Welcome back to CrappieKast. My buddy John there.
What's going on?
Oh, somebody see 8861 Jim. Look like Jim tuned in from Ohio.
That's great.
On YouTube. Well, Chad Gillen's on here. Scott Seals is on here. Appreciate everybody tuning up. Wade Cole, there he is. He's tuned in. I clean my glasses. I can actually see a little bit. I didn't realize how smeared up they were. Yep, just getting warm. You said you had some rain yesterday, you said, John?
Yeah, late yesterday we got some rain.
Yeah, it's been sporadic. It ain't been as bad as it has been. But
what's going on, Rosie?
Sure is. Mr. Dennis Rosetta tuned in. Randy Watkins from North Carolina. Appreciate Randy tuning in. We're going to go over little tips. And, the good thing about this show, I was thinking, there's some shows that just cover lakes, and lakes and rivers, totally different fishing. I mean, I know most Lay Lake and all the Coosa chain is formed, by the river, but it still fishes more like a lake than, a river does. You get a river that's got several turbines like the Alabama River, that thing changes by the minute. So we'll get into some of that.
That's fact. They will pack a suitcase on you in a second.
Yes, the river is very, very humbling. I promise you it is. It's
It doesn't matter how much you think you got yourself dialed in on it. The next day,
you better have some options, ain't that right, John?
Right.
You better have some options, and that. I'm not saying they move, to total different. They do move to total different areas, but the same kind of cover. Where John caught a lot of fish the other day, I went and there were still some fish there, not as many, but that changes day to day too. Wind, current changes a lot of it. But we got a little while. We got a little while left of this heat. They're talking about this humidity. We got a couple more months, I guess. We're halfway through July, you might as well say. Today's the 10th. Yeah. Today's the 10th, so we're almost halfway done. Then you got August and September and it's almost October. So. But it is warm.
It is definitely warm. Well, I'll go in a little bit about some fishing I got to do this week and some other stuff I want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll wait a little bit and talk about it. Let some people get on here and I guess you thank some people. We need to thank Outlaw Crappie Poles. They gave away a rod last week, and we got some more of that coming up in the future. Probably not gonna do one tonight. We got some more money from a sponsor, Alpha Plumbing. They agreed to give away another rod, and Outlaw has agreed to give away one. We'll definitely do one next week. So please continue to check in with us. It's fortunate that we got people on here that are willing to donate, Shane and the hippie. Hey, Ryan, if you ain't noticed, I had a little bit of it cut off this week.
You got a trim, John. I'm jealous.
Did.
Hey, look here.
Shane got his cut, and I got mine cut too.
Yeah, I sure did. I believe it or not, it grows, but it just don't grow that thick.
I got about 6 inches cut off of it. Creek man had to go get his trim. He wasn't real happy about that. So I said, hey, I'll get some cut off. If I'd gone first, he probably would run out of the barbershop. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, we got Dippy's tournament coming up. I see where he posted some information about it. It's August. What day was that? I mean to write it down. I meant to write it down.
Yeah, we need to. I'll look it up while we're going here.
Yeah, we need to do that. There's my dad tuned in, working on your team. Yeah, hey, we've been out in the sun, Dad. You're gonna get some sun. Sure enough,
I hope the water for that Dippy tournament's good. You know, it'll blow up down there just like Tom Bigby will, and then the Warrior. You know how they'll blow up quick. That down there on the Tensol, it'll do the same thing. So.
Yeah, Ryan said you could have donated something to me. See, I could have got me a wig.
We can't make him that good looking, Ryan.
That's right. Yeah, we can't do that, Ryan. I'm glad. I guess Ryan's getting through his. He's getting through his shack there at the house. I forget what he calls it.
It's nice now.
Oh yeah, he's got it where people will be able to stay there with him and they fish for him. August the 9th. Stephen, thank you. That's when it's coming.
Okay, good. I'll quit looking.
Yeah.
We'll have to have old Dippy Do on here.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I seen where everybody's getting ramped up for. Greg Gibson, he messaged me the other day asking was we going to be down there. I said we're going to be down there. So we're going to be there a little more prepared, hopefully.
Yeah, we're going to have a daggum fan this time. We burned our boats up last year.
Yeah, it was hot, man. We'll try to get us a tent and a fan and a generator.
My next door neighbor, my new neighbor over here, he's making a donation to the kids tournament. And I feel terrible. He told me the name of his company. I'm gonna wait and announce it once I get his.
There you go.
I know the name, what his company was called, but it's got a different name now. So he's gonna make a very generous donation to the kids tournament. So we'll be able to buy a lot of tackle boxes and stuff like that.
That's good.
And then D. Roberson, Alpha Plumbing agreed to make a donation for the kids tournament, and he's always generous for that. It's exciting. I mean, and I'm not gonna lie, it's also exciting going there and like saying, looking at things and like, how can I best use this money to get as much as I can for these kids, like tackle boxes and rods and reels and stuff like that, because you got to kind of go in there with a game plan. You don't want to just, there's certain things that you can get a good bit of, like, those flip open tackle boxes. When I was a kid, I had one. I was as proud of that thing as I was any part of my gear. I didn't have much in it because I was pretty bad about losing stuff, but and I didn't really get given a lot of stuff. But I was happy. I was proud to have that tackle box.
Oh yeah.
Look at Johnny Carwell. He said he's going to donate again this year. Thank you, Mr. Johnny. Mr. Johnny, I got to get with you. He told me a way you can get with Walmart, and I hope I haven't waited too late to do that. You can get a Walmart will actually help you with something like this, and I forgot all about that until I saw his name just now.
Yeah, we
DC.
They need somebody tearing fish. Adam Acker's tuned in. Yeah, we're gonna. It's the Piggly Wiggly. I got to get with Tim. We're gonna get over here and get some stuff from them. I'll get over that. We'll probably get some drinks. No telling. I don't know. Whatever William said he's watching from the Waffle House. I hear you, Will.
Hey, next year a good fundraiser would be a turkey hunt with Adam Acker.
Yeah, no kidding. He whacks them, boy.
He's a good turkey hunter.
Big time. I'll figure out what Piggly Wiggly's going to go towards it, and we'll see. We'll have to get ramped up because, man, that's really a month away, basically from today.
Yeah. Yep. Go to the local Walmart and talk to them there. Thank you, Jamie. All right. I don't know that I've ever met the manager of ours, but I'm sure somebody. Hey, anybody from the Andalusia area, if you happen to see this message, Shane or I, and if you happen to have a contact at Andalusia Walmart, I'll go
Yeah, I
talk.
remember you saying about that last year. You were saying that they set up something.
It's like a grant or something similar to that.
You can apply for them, right? They match
Yeah,
it. There's something to do with that. I forget what it is.
and I mean, right now, just with the two guys that I know that are donating, if they do a match thing or something like that, that'd even be good. But from what I understand is they make a pretty healthy contribution to things like this.
So, yeah. That's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Eric said he's watching from Gretna, Florida. I don't know where that is.
Yeah, Eric, what part of Florida is that?
Gretna. Keith Spencer's tuned in from Mississippi. We got people all over the map here, which is a good thing. I don't know where Gretna is. My phone's in there on charger. I'd look it up.
Oh, I can look it up.
Yeah, I don't know where
I'm on the laptop. I'm on the laptop now, James.
yeah.
I'm a little more versatile.
Yeah, man. We'll get into some fishing stuff. We like to try to, wait till, we got 55 people tuned in and around Tallahassee. There you go. Thank you. Okay. I know where that is.
Huh. He's got a lot of good fishing around him. He can go north and south.
That's right. William White said I would donate a deer hunt on Youth Weekend in Sumter County. That's good. There ain't nothing wrong. Hey.
That dang sure take it, buddy.
Because see, when they do a giveaway there, right there on the stage. They got it set up, man. They give away, like John said, they give away trailer. They give away a lot of nice stuff. So
yeah, basketball goals, anything fishing you can imagine, kayaks. Yep, child. That's why I was saying. I was saying, Eric, you can go to a lot of places around you to go fishing. You're fortunate.
Oh yeah, big time. He can go anywhere he wants to. But they do give away a lot of stuff. I mean, it's worth going. Like I said, we'll get us a tent and a fan. I've been wanting to try to find one of them fans. I know they run them on sale because, man, them fans, I need one out here in front of a grill out here just to plug in and move some air because I know they had several there last year and there were a lot of people standing in front of that damn thing.
For real. I mean, I think me and you tried to ease into one a couple times.
Oh, yeah. It was, we went out fishing the day before and found the fish and, up there. And then, man, when we got off that water, it was smoking.
It was hot on the water because the thing about fishing that delta is you're getting a lot of these narrow canals and stuff, and you got big, huge trees on both sides of you, so there's no wind coming through there. You're just sitting there baking.
Oh, it's bad. Like there's no wind. You're exactly right, Don. None. Zero. Yesterday evening when I left the paper mill, I got to go out there and John had found some spots a little bit different. That's what's cool. We had talked about an area we fished and then John just really honed in on it and added some fish where I caught some fish. So I had a pretty good day, even though there wasn't a lot of fish, I ended up still having a good day. But that wind was blowing.
All I think that was just I came out differently than you normally do, and
that's exactly what it was. And they were there exactly where you and I talked about. I mean that's what's and it's crazy how aggressive some of those fish were. As far as didn't catch many blackfish like you said, John. I caught 2, I think, out of the 30 something I caught.
So I guess I'll go into my fishing trip.
Go ahead.
From earlier this week. Eric Horn asked, do we use live scope? Yeah, Eric, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and love it.
Oh, yeah. I've been using it for several years now. I guess since 19, I guess, John. Isn't that about
It was 19 from September of 19 for me, I think it was.
And like I said, dadgum. It's going on 6 years,
So I fished this week locally. And heck, I guess I go into all of it.
Go ahead.
My truck, I got somebody hit my truck, and I've been putting off getting it fixed. And finally, the guy's insurance company that hit me, that was paying for my truck to get fixed, they finally said, "Look, he hit me back in November, and I just kept putting off getting it fixed." And finally, his insurance company said, "Hey, bud, you got to put your truck in the shop and get it fixed, or we're not going to pay for it." gave me like to the end of this month. So I put it in the shop. The guy's done a bunch of work for me before, and he's coming to some misfortune, and it's taking longer than it normally would have. Well, I just want to speak to how great it is to have good friends and meet people within the fishing world. So had a I mean, he's a good friend now that I met through fishing. He had been checking on me and in the truck, and we've been talking about fishing stuff. And yesterday we talked, and he pretty much told me, he said, "We need to get you a truck tomorrow. I've got extra vehicles." So he came to the house this morning, picked me up, and took me and got me one of his vehicles, and said, "You use it like it's yours." He knows how much I love to fish and do fish, and he's been with me some, and I just want to say thank you to him. I'm not going to mention his name.
Son said he insisted on it. Said he was coming.
Yeah, he did.
Whether you liked it or not. So.
It was the third or fourth time that he told me, and finally he's like, we're going to do it tomorrow, and we did today, and I'm back rolling. Now, I also want to say this. I've had some really great friends that have come and hooked to my boat, and we've gone fishing. And not having a truck is a lot for me. But I mean, it helps them out when we go, because I hope that I'm showing them some stuff when they hook to my boat and we go fishing. But it was exciting. We've had some good trips. It's amazing how many buddies offered me vehicles, and it's hard for me to accept that kind of thing. But finally, one of them just shoved me in the corner and said, "Hey, I've got it. You need it. Here you go."
There you go. So you back going. Heck, you'll be able to get back in the water. And the water's finally calming down a little bit where you can actually get out there and go, concentrate on some fish. So,
yeah. We got that rain last night. I don't think it's going to mess us up. We had a pretty good shower, but normally I can gauge it by the way the water stands in my yard on how it's going to muddy it up. I don't think it's going to mess it up. And what's kind of crazy, I think tomorrow, even though I've got a truck where I can go somewhere, I'm going to fish here at the house.
Tell everybody we were talking about the willow fly hatch and stuff when you went to.
Okay, yeah.
That was interesting.
I totally got off base about what I was, I went into the whole friend helping me out deal with the truck. But so I know this happens everywhere, but sometimes we'll have like a really big willow fly hatch. And when that happens, our fish just gorge on them. And I think a lot of it, I mean, I know that happens everywhere, but we have less shad than we should because we have a invasive mussel that messes up the whole ecosystem. And so we have less shad than a lot of other places because the mussel takes out the zooplankton, which the shad thrive on. But anyway, so we had a big willow fly hatch Monday night. And me and a buddy, we're going to go Tuesday morning. And this time last year, Jessica and I were smoking them. We had a 2-man in like no time.
That's right.
So I thought, in my mind, I'm like, we're going to be done quick. Well, I get up that morning, I go down to my dock to get my cooler, and there's flies everywhere. And I said, and we fished a lake close to here, wasn't my lake. I said, oh, I hope they hadn't had a willow fly hatch. And they had. And so we started pulling up on some stuff. Fish just weren't there like they should have been. Which I'm not in touch with it because I'm not going like I normally am.
Well, right. You've been out there before.
Didn't have a truck, right? So so I'm bouncing around. And I've got like 2 or 3 brush piles I can check and kind of get a vibe for what the lake's going to be like. And I was like, ooh, man. It's not good. And when we first put the boat in, I looked down the bank and I could see them, the flies on the edge of the bushes. And I could look out across the lake. I mean, when you got those flies falling, it's just constant. The surface is just something's popping. And so, I did some of the spots I knew that should have fish on them, did some ledge stuff. And then I'm like, all right, I got to get away from these flies, get away from the flies, go closer to the dam. Well, as you do that, your water is going to get clearer. And the bite was absolutely freaking terrible. Um, so I'm like, gosh, dang. So what what am I going to do? So it was like, I'd probably say 9:30ish. I said, I'm going to go mess with some shallow fish. So went and messed with some shallow fish, saved the day. We ended up with 36, which was nowhere near where I planned to be on, for the day. But we had and we took out at like 11 something. So, we picked it back up, moving up on and I'm gonna tell y'all the stuff that we fished in that shallow water is stuff that I put out intentionally so I'd have some shallow stuff to mess with.
Yeah, you said how full though. I've seen where Patrick Stone and them posted in Grenada.
Yeah.
I mean, full the stomachs were.
Yeah, these fish looked like they were full of eggs. They had so many willow flies in them.
It's crazy.
But you kind of create opportunities for yourself. So in this case, that deeper water stuff, all my brush that was in that deeper water, the fish were pulled off of it, and there really wasn't many there. And I think that those fish recognize that fly hatch is going on, and they move in, and they set up on that brush that I put out that was shallower.
Yeah.
And I was just glad I thought about it, mid morning, and we moved up on it. When we did, we started catching some fish, and went with some I don't know, darker colors, because these I don't know if you ever noticed, there's different color mayfly or willow flies that hatch out. Some will be a darker color and some of them will be a lighter color. Well, we went with some darker stuff when we moved up on that shallow stuff, and it helped us.
There you go. I noticed, John, what I noticed yesterday, I didn't tell you about it, but I started throwing candy corn and caught a couple of fish. And what I realized, and it may be something to it, may not, but the water was still stained a little bit. So I broke the gray ghost out. And I think that gray ghost they could see it just enough to get their interest. And when it started running from them, because they really honed in on it and started catching fish. So they couldn't see it as well. They could just see. And for some reason, it got them more interested, because out of some of those schools, like the video I posted on the CrappieKast page, those whitefish, I caught a couple on, the candy corn. And then, some of them kind of, when I broke that gray ghost out and started bringing it, if I reeled it faster, when they separated, they would close the deal. It was kind of crazy. Once they seen a glimpse of that, I don't know if it was, they couldn't see it as well, so they just went ahead and chased it, or they seen the candy corn too well, then they decide, I don't know, but that's what it worked yesterday evening. It really worked, to help me catch 10 or 15 more fish. Just changing the colors. Like you said, it was a little like the exact opposite of what you were doing. It was just couldn't see it as well. And, I always keep stuff tied on like John does. I got a bright color, then I've got a shag color, then I got that gray ghost, and I actually tried a long rod and used a little 30-second. And for some reason, those fish want that thing burning away from them. I don't know why, but like I told John, I lost a ton of fish yesterday. I probably lost a dozen yesterday, and I don't normally lose that many. I don't know if and some of them were losing at the top of the water. Like, it just had them skin hooked where they hit it with their mouth closed.
I told you I had the same thing happen Tuesday, and I think they're short striking it, and you're not getting it up in the root of that.
I think so too. I lost some good fish, and I was like, well, dadgummit, but heck, there's no certain bait that's going to work all the time. And don't get me wrong, but this time of year, this summer, guys, you got to pull every hat trick you got in the book. I mean, you got to pull every color, every technique, reeling in there and trying to dead stick it, get one to look at it and take it away from him fast. There's so many different ways before you just give up on a school.
I will tell you how I caught some. So there was a little current, and it's a pretty neat trick if you ain't never tried it. So there was enough current that I could get upstream of the brush pile.
Yeah.
And throw in downstream of it, and I could take my brakes to stay above it. Power brakes. All right. So I'd let that jig go down there to the pile, and I would just like bounce it above the pile, but there was just enough current to keep it floating above it. So
Right,
I,
kind of
you
stay
know,
there.
I wasn't having to reel, I could just walk it right over the pile. And then finally something that was hot would just come up and smoke it. And it's pretty, if you haven't tried that, if you got a little current, you can get that 16th ounce jig and just kind of I'm talking about, I mean, I was putting a lot of movement in it, and finally one would come up there and boom, grab it.
I
And
noticed that too, John. I had to do that too. I shook that jig pretty violent, and if one addressed it, then I took it away from him pretty quick. That was a way I could get him to try to light it up after I caught several fish.
I mean, I was probably moving that jig up and down a good 4 to 5 inches above them, just like a steady action. And the one that come up there, and it was normally a white crappie, would smoke it. But what was funny, when we moved to those shallower piles, those black crappie were eating good too. And
Good.
and that's where we picked up most of our black crappie, was off those shallow piles. But hey, Scott Seals had a question for us about Ultrex foot control.
There it is. What did he say? Right there. We'll get him.
All right.
Then we'll get on down there to Mike's question.
Scott,
Go ahead.
so here's the deal. Some of those boards that are in those Ultrexes that were some of the ones that first came out, they've got a kind of like an epoxy over the board, and when they would get hot, it would like heat up, and it would mess that board up. The newer boards that they came out with on the Ultrexes had a more firm, I guess like resin or epoxy on them, and they had less issue with it. So if you've got one of those older boards, that could possibly be what's messing up, your trolling motor. You just have to, see when it was made. But if it's hanging up left and right, it's going to probably be your steering control board. And but I know about this only because the guy that works on trolling motors at Andalusia Marine, he's very sharp on them, and he's just seen so many, anything that's gone wrong when he knows about it, and I've talked to him about it before.
Oh yeah, I think that was a common thing before they come out with a Quest, wasn't it?
No, yes and no, but a lot of it, people are gas on them, going from spot to spot, putting them on 10, and when you're really not supposed to run a trolling motor on 10 for a long period of time. It's made for burst, or less than 30 seconds. If you hammer on that thing going now, this Quest is different, but I still don't run my Quest like that. The Quest, I know Eric talked about he goes spot to spot with his Quest on 10. I don't do it still, but I will run mine on 10.
They will move. They will move. I mean, them things 3.5, 4 mile an hour. They will get it. So. I was going to share this with everybody. These are Cast King glasses.
Yes, I ordered 2 pair of them.
They're called Flat Rocks, guys. $34 to your house. We're not sponsored by them, but I'm telling y'all, extra pair.
I got on there today.
Yes.
And if you order 2 pair right now, I got free shipping. So I got 2 pair for like $54.
These things, guys, are the lightest glasses ever. They're clear. I've used them fishing. I've got, Maui Gems. I've got Costas. They're high dollar when I'm at the beach and I might be consuming a little alcohol. These are the things you wear because if you Yahoo these, but I'm telling y'all, Flat Rock, fathead friendly. They got all kinds of frames. I was like, and everybody gets in your boat. I forgot my sunglasses. And when it's bright like this and it's hot and you're trying to really hone in on that screen, Flat Rock, go ahead.
Put them back up like you had them right there. All right. If y'all will look, move them up a little bit. Up. There you go. So if you'll look there on that one lens, you can see Shane's OnlyFans light in the reflection.
Right there. It's right there. I'm not going to say what John and them call it on air. The bad thing is, in the corner where I'm at, it's really dim. This is a ring light, but hey, they do use it for stuff. That's exactly right. But I was going to share that with everybody. They're called Flat Rocks. Like I said, man, they're reasonable sunglasses. I've had Strike Kings, and they scratch up. These are not bad, guys. I've cleaned them. They're not scratched up. They make some good glasses. I was just for backups. Let's see. I know Mike had a question. Mike, what's Mike saying? He's a Bankhead. Oh, he's up at Bankhead fishing in the summer. Woo, man. Any advice? I couldn't tell you. I don't know anybody's caught some fish up there. I've heard they caught some in Prescott and some standing timber. I guess that, like I seen a little thermocline yesterday. I'm thinking anything 13 foot and up, that's where I'd be looking, because you got a little thermocline at 12, 13, 14 feet, a lot of places. Where'd you see it at your place, John? Have you seen that thermocline?
9.5 feet.
Okay. See, it's a little shallower down there where John is. But
Oh yeah. Well, our water temperature is 90 degrees.
it's 91 yesterday, 92. But
Yeah.
Mike,
Well, in the morning, and then it gets hotter. Then
Oh, yeah.
You're going off that surface really, but it's definitely a distinct layer right now, and that's when you really know it's set in.
Blake said, did y'all calibrate y'all's LSV 34 when you installed it?
All right, Blake, I just gotta be honest with you. I have the hardest time with that calibration crap.
Yeah.
So mine is not calibrated, and I know it should be, but I don't know why. I don't know. I own 3 different systems, and I just have the hardest time with it. So normally I fiddle with one till I get it like I want it, and that's my honest to God answer. Because you know how you can move the screen, and it'll say not calibrated, can't mark, whatever. And mine's always been like that.
Yeah, mine's not calibrated either.
But hey, is that the right answer? Absolutely not.
Chad wanted to see this. They got a little open frame right there. He was talking about the frame of the glasses. These things are, look, I'm telling y'all, the lightest glasses I've ever felt in my life. They're I'm telling you, I told John, I said, hey, get you a pair. I'm telling you, you won't be.
I ordered 2 pair. I mean, there's no telling how many of those Cast King reels I've sold. I thought about going back through all my messenger stuff and like printing out all the stuff and making like a little Cast King portfolio.
Yeah.
And send it to them and see if they'll put me on pro staff. But
hey, I haven't tried those hook and bullet glasses. I have not. I know some people that run them. I've got some Costa 520, whatever, glass lens, clearish, whatever. And I'm telling y'all, I just wear these. I mean, in the summertime when I'm suspect to have sunscreen and sweat and lose them, hey.
What's kind of, I don't know. You ain't got no skin in the game, Shane. You just telling people because you like them. You know what I'm saying?
I paid full price for these things, but
yeah,
I seen them come up, and the guy was like, "These glasses are legit." I said, "You know what? I'll order some." I've had Strike Kings, and if you rub that paper towel on a Strike King, it scratches them. You can't even see out of them. It rubs the film off of them. These still clear as glass. And we was at the beach. We're sitting there on Crab Island. My buddy Kaz comes up, and Chuck, and we're standing there. He goes, "Man, what kind of glasses are them?" He drops his Mally Jims and has to go down there and get them. And I said, "These are just little old cheap, Cast King glasses." I said, "Ain't that cheap?" And he goes to the boat and orders him 3 pair of them as soon as he gets in the boat. He's like, "Man, there ain't no way." So. But hey.
The stupidest thing I do is, me, I don't use sunglasses unless it's like bad bright.
Right.
So I'll put them up on my head, and like we're down at Okeechobee, and 2 game wardens are pulling a big gator out of the water with a Ranger, and I got them up on my head, and I'm probably running 35 or so, and I turn, I guess, and my glasses.
Oh yeah.
Out of the back of the boat.
I got this cable guy right here. He's actually from Birmingham. This is made out of rubber, but he made the original cables. These don't bother me. They bother me on my neck. I use them. He used to sell surgical stuff for hospitals. Surgical cable, and he come up with this cables with a Z. Of course, he's probably loaded to the gill now, but he's
oh wow, that's the actual guy with a Z.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he was from Alabama.
Yeah, he is. He's from Alabama. He I forget his name, but that thing's like $10. It's just a rubber. Y'all can see it says cables on there. That keeps me from drowning them. So, but they're $35, guys. I mean, compared to $300, Jesus, man. You know.
Hey, Wade, look, put Wade's comment up there, please.
Which one? I talked to a guy.
Yeah. All right, Wade, look at mine and Shane's head.
Yeah.
If we can wear them sunglasses, you know you can too. It's for big head boys.
Hey, look, I'll put them on right now. Look, on and off. They slide on. Look, got a little. Hey, they're fine. I'm telling you. They're comfortable. You know, believe it or not, those glass lenses, they'll start weighing on my nose a little bit because they are heavy. I mean, but yeah, they're I wouldn't let anybody. I told John I'm not gonna let anybody spend $35 if I didn't think they were pretty good glasses. And if I find some I like, I don't care if I'm sponsored or not. Hey, get you some. I mean, you know, they do really well though. You know,
right. Yeah.
I don't know if I missed any more questions. Let's see.
Randy Watkins at the bottom.
What's he saying? I was told not to use polarized when looking. I hadn't heard that. I have no Ivory glasses. No fishing glasses are polarized. So
I sometimes like I'll pull them up. I ain't gonna lie. If I'm really focusing on something.
Oh, yeah, me too.
But if you're fishing, if you're throwing it like a piece of timber with several fish on it,
yeah,
you know,
if that sucker's facing that pole like this, and I got to run it down that pole on his head, I'm gonna pull them suckers down. I'm gonna get in there to them. Luckily, when I'm running the umbrella, I can take them off anyway. That's one good thing about the umbrella.
You look like Peepaw with them on the end of your nose.
Yeah, I'll be tuned in. What's crazy? You tell a guy, and man, if that fish is up against that pole, especially on this side, and you're coming from this side, you take that crappie jig and you open that bell and you run it right here and you shake it, and you can get him to stutter, it's over for him. John will tell you, if that fish stutters, he's fixing to smash something. I mean, if you can get him to do the little shuffle, if he starts doing this, but that's what that does. You drop it right down there and wake his butt up. You know, I done it a lot yesterday. And I tell people, it's so exciting to me when that fish starts stuttering. I'm like, just keep reeling, buddy. And I'm watching that rod. I'm just waiting on that rod to load up. Good thing about these, you know, these outlaw crappie poles and all these poles we use, they got a fast tip. You can see that tip just flex a little bit when that fish loads it. Hey, man, hit him. You know, whether you're not used to it or not. Once you feel that pressure bite, you know, it takes a few fish for people to really feel that. That kind of is a feel thing. You know, we got into that subject last week, but it's a pressure bite. Go ahead, John.
If anybody on here has gotten one of those Patriots from Outlaw Crappie Poles, put on here what you think about it. I've got one and like it a lot, and you know, it's not really my jam, but I've used it a good bit because I like it. The tip on it's really good.
Somebody was saying they got last show who they got one in. I know Tim's been using.
James Trott's got one. I think it might have been who was talking about it, and can't remember who else it was. Was talking about they got one. I'm just curious. We try to make sure the things we are doing are successful for the companies that we support. So if you did buy one, please talk about it.
Crappie Crane's talking about the new Ultra 2 16-inch.
Man, I saw that.
Tim
Pentecost will have one of those. Let me put a countdown on it. The next 3 weeks. Well, I don't know how soon you can get them yet. So, all right, whenever you can start getting them, Tim Pentecost will have one of those Ultra 2 16 graphs a month after he can get one. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, yeah.
So, if Tim's still on here,
he probably don't want to sleep.
Yeah, Shallow and I was talking about it. I said, Tim, he's like, yeah, Tim's going to have one of them Ultra 216.
Danny says the Patriots his favorite rod so far, and the only rods on his boat are Outlaws. So.
Good.
I know Danny goes a good bit. So.
Yeah.
I've been wearing his baits out. I know that. I've thrown many of them. Them fat babies, I've been using them.
I wish I grabbed something from him while I was up there. I didn't. We were able to talk.
There's several colors. Mirror ball. Danny, you'll tell us what color that blue and white is. I've been smashing them. It's a blue top and a white bottom. I don't know what color that is.
Shane, you've always liked blue. You've always liked blue.
Blue, really? Big Daddy always told me, hey, blue works great at Billis Fair. That's all he would tell me, and I'd be like, blue? Hey, it does work pretty good. I used a lot down there at Talcon, the Blue Ghost, which is just like a blue monkey milk. John, you use that a lot too. But we
Shane,
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to ask when you was headed back down there. You ain't.
I don't know, man. I just I got a trip. I'm going back down the Alabama River with James and his dad Saturday, but I haven't been to Florida. I'm waiting to go to Seminole. To be honest with you, you know when my memory popped up today, John, when me and you went to Okeechobee. It popped up today.
I saw it today too.
Because we had a picture. That was the best story, y'all. Let me tell you the story. John launches and he's gone. He's at the dam. I'm looking around and Johnny said, hell, I almost got my limit. I said, hell, I just got in the water. I mean, God's honest truth. I was like, I just got in the water. Like, I'm going around the corner. I catch a couple big whitefish, and I'm sitting there, and John's just whooping on them. He's out in the middle of the lake just whooping on them. And he goes, man, we light them up. So we get done, and John catches, I don't know how many he catches, and I catch my 30. I think we had 80 fish. I don't know how many fish we had. We had our, 60 fish, and we went to the launch, and there was a guy sitting in the car about to fish from the pier. He was getting his stuff out of the trunk. John said, you want some fish? And he goes, huh? So you want some fish? He said, let me get my bucket. I said, nah, bro. that bucket ain't going to handle it. He said, you serious? I said, yeah. He broke out a construction bag. You remember that, John?
Yes. He had an industrial.
He threw his rod back in the trunk, tied it like Santa Claus, and was gone.
Yeah. I told him, I said, look, bud, when you get all these fish right here, I said, you're going to need to be leaving this boat around because you're going to be way over the limit. And I told him that, and we had given them to him. So
he took off. It was funny. He put his rod back in there. So, all right, guys, he threw that sack over like Santa Claus. But it did pop up today. I seen that.
I saw it too. It's Shane and I through the years have done a lot of stuff together, so we have a lot of memories pop up.
It did.
And where we're coming back from Grenada.
We coming up from Grenada. I remember we've been over there.
On the guys' trip, yeah.
We went over there and we was like, man, let's hit that on the way back. Like, fun lake, a lot of fish.
Yeah, if you want to crush some fish in Mississippi, Okeechobee. And there's no size limit. I think you can have 30 a person.
That's right.
Where, a lot of those lakes over there in Mississippi, you got some real
it's 10 fish in Grenada.
Heavily regulated. You got to be 12 inches and all that stuff.
I tell you, they were in the middle of that lake. I mean, John went on that pattern, got that channel, son. He went whooping on them.
Well, that night before we talked about going over there, I just got on avionics.
That's right.
I saw some channels, some channel bends and stuff, and that were out in the lake. I said, that's where I think I need to start, and it worked out. I was lucky.
They were there because I got about, I don't know, I had 10, 15, 20 fish. He said, man, you need to come on out here. And I found John and just got ahead of him, and we started going in them bins, and, man, they were there.
Yeah.
Fun trip, but it was today. Sure was. 2 years.
That's the trip that you started believing me on the smaller hooks.
That's it. That's when because I caught them big whitefish on it. I caught some big 14, 15-inch whitefish. They were just kind of staged up outside of brush piles. And but that's exactly right. That's when I started throwing that little limits tackle, little number 6, I guess it is, isn't it, John?
It is.
Number 6. And you put that you bend that hook up. This is a hook I don't even use hardly no more, but you bend that hook up at a little angle. You take that number 6 and get it rocked up a little bit, and it hits them in that jaw. It's bye-bye for them. Yo. That's the one I losing those fish the other day. I said, this is not normal. And I knew that's where they just skin hooking them, on the outside of it. But it's that time of year where you're going to have to put together several patterns. Like John said, it's going to have several different baits. Stalling the bait, leaving it from them fast.
Hey, Shane, you know what we ought to start promoting a little bit?
What's that?
Is some people, if you can, on Facebook, leave CrappieKast a review if we've helped you out in the
Yeah,
past,
because we don't have but 7, 8 reviews on there. It's 100%.
yeah.
Yeah, please do that. That's
So
a
if
good
we've helped you out in the past or anything like that,
Yeah,
go.
man, please do, because that kind of what that does when you leave a review, it goes on Facebook and gets. We're almost at 15,000 followers now. We're just clicking away. I try to every time I post a video of some schooling fish, you get a lot of hate and stuff, but that actually just runs it up. And I just about everybody, even the haters. So
Man, I had to take a video down. Me and Little Creek man, he was riding on a boat and he didn't have a life jacket on, but in Alabama, uh, like it or not, if a child I think is 8 years or older, they don't have to have a life jacket on a boat.
oh yeah, that was
We were
on.
just going one spot to the other, and I took a video of his hair flying up in the air, and we weren't going. We were maybe. I mean, this is terrible to say. I mean, any accident can happen at any speed, but we weren't going. But like maybe 40 miles an hour, but his hair. It was funny. His hair was flying up in the air, and I put it on a video, and man, the hate got real quick. And,
man, hey, I've had people talk about the gap in my front teeth, and I'm just laughing. I mean, it's just like people are just.
If it wasn't nothing to do with my kid, I would have just left it out there and let it. Let it make money because the more posts that people do that hate, and if you can take it and not get mad, you'll get paid more on it.
I just like it, and it just runs the numbers up. But yeah, if y'all can leave us a review, no kidding. But yeah, just you see what Jim's son, he cost me a lot of money. He got a lot of outlaw rods. Hey, you got to spend it on something, Jim. I mean, James said, I fish with a hair jig. If that doesn't work, I fish with a hair jig. I used to fish with an older gentleman. That sucker, they're going to eat that. He stole a white spinnerbait. I said, man, you're going to change? He said, they're going to either eat this spinnerbait or starve. And I'm going, yes, sir. He eventually catch something on it.
I've got somebody that tanned me a raccoon tail, and I'm going to tie some jigs with it. But I almost think that raccoon tail is going to have some buoyancy to it.
Yeah,
so I might be able to stall a 16th or something like that more. I don't know. I'm gonna play with it. I've always tied with squirrel tail and stuff like that. But that raccoon tail, I think it's gonna be a little different.
You think it's a little more hollow?
I don't know. Every time I don't know. We'll see.
Oh yeah, it'd be interesting. Like I said, man, you gotta, like I said. Time on the water, you learn all these little, all these little techniques and different stuff. Like John was saying, hovering the bait, snapping the bait, taking away fast. You gotta, once you pop a couple of hot fish, and the rest of it, you gotta try everything, in your arsenal, and then you're like, oh, that worked,
The biggest thing, guys, if you throw to that stump and you pop you a couple off of it, and then you go back to it for 5 or 6 throws, and you nailed the stump, and nothing happens. Move.
Yeah, get on that.
Yeah, come back to it. Yeah,
that's right, Stevie. I will be at the deer show. I'll be at the deer expo probably Saturday evening. I'm gonna try to cut my trip off about lunchtime, and I'll be headed down there. So, that's what Stevie's asking. The deer expo, the 42nd annual deer expo, this weekend in Birmingham. So,
is that the one they used to have in Montgomery?
No, they have it next. That Buckmaster's the next. It's the next show, John. This is the one they have in Birmingham here.
That's how far behind I am about deer hunting.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about the one in Buckmaster is you can bring a canned good and get in for free. This one costs.
Yes, I do remember that.
Jackie Bushman, they still do that one down in Montgomery.
I might try to take Creek Man that he's finally got where he can shoot good enough with a BB or a pellet gun that I'm gonna let him deer hunt this year. So.
Right, yeah. I got my bow there. I've been shooting it every evening. My bow's sitting right here, my arrows, and trying to get people to understand lifting weights and shooting bows totally different. I mean, the bow muscles are totally different than the stabilizing muscles to shoot with. It's funny.
Yeah, Creek got him a little bow, and we got him a piece of styrofoam from the boat dealership that engine came in, and he has wore that son of a gun out. we got to get him another piece of styrofoam.
Hey, I wear it. That target out there is wore out too. I got to get Jim. It's actually my neighbor Jimbo's target. I've shot it to pieces. I got a target, John, that he can have. My bow goes through it.
Save it.
I don't know. I got a nice bag target somewhere. I don't even know. I was trying to think. I was in my closet.
It's probably where my fillet knife blades are.
I got some of them in my.
It's been over a year now that you had
those. Since we went to
you follow.
You follow.
Yeah,
I got a new set for you if you remind me when my boat's there.
You probably don't wore my other set out.
No, I probably have. I got a brand new set of those 9-inch ones laying in the box. I sure do. Yeah, William said he's going Saturday afternoon. That's when I'll be there. I'm gonna run that trip with James, and hopefully we'll get off the water. But Hannah Barron is going to be there. That's what Chad's saying. She is going to be there. I've seen that. That'll be good. She's a big outdoorsman, I tell you. She's got a big following. She really does. I mean, she's the real deal.
You know, my mama taught her in high school.
Yes, yeah. She's the real deal now. They can say what they want to. She's a noodling fool now. So, kills deer.
She does some noodling here on the lake I live on.
But I do have a set of new blades. I seen them in my box. I had to bring my box in here when I went to Destin. I said, hell, there's a brand new set of repellent blades laying in the box. I found all kinds of stuff, John, I had laying in the box.
I didn't realize all the stuff I'd left in my truck I need.
Oh, yeah, man. What are you talking about? Heck yeah, man. But, you know, this time of year, you just got to hit the hot spots before it gets hot. And sometimes the fish, you know, they don't get stirred up till it gets hot. I see Eric and them post, hey, it started out slow. Then when the sun got up, it got on fire. Or, you know, like John said the other day, when the sun got up, when he was at Alabama River, they started eating it up. I mean, you know, I went, you know, after I visited the paper mill, it was, you know, 2:00. So it wasn't a great time to be out there. But I think, you know, some of that weather and that thunder and the clouds might have affected them some. It might have slowed them down some. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you got to think about.
Also tonight is the full moon, so if you want to go get out those bluegill shell cracker, I would be messing with.
What do they call that moon? It's got a name for this one.
Blood? Is it the blood?
Blood, but it starts with a B. I don't know what it is.
Buck moon.
Buckland, there it is. Yeah, Southern Outdoorsman. I'll go visit Adam and all them. I sure will. They'll be there at the booth. You know what's funny? I go to the deer show, and I love this now. Don't get me wrong, but everybody that knows me, we stop and talk about fishing right in the middle of the deer show. I mean, I'll get stopped 25, 30 times, which is fine. But I enjoy it, but it's, hey, we start talking about fishing. So I like both of them just as much. I tell you, you know, this time of year, July and August, I like to fish. It's hot and not a lot of company, and you can catch a lot of fish. I mean, John and I do it every year. Every year this time of year. I mean, I was in Florida in September. Neil and I was butchering them. And, you know, around, the 1st of September, I'm talking about stroking them. It was on, I mean, you'd have to have a Gatorade in your hand constantly. You know, it got hot. But, I mean, water's 95 degrees. Hey, still biting. You had to do different techniques. I think then we were crawling a 30-second, John. You'd reel it, it'd stop, and you'd reel it, it'd stop, and finally one get mad and grab it. So James is saying, do you think they could cut the handle?
I don't know. Hey, James, it would be a great idea for them.
You might can do it. They might can get you. I mean,
I don't know. That's probably how the 5-footer was born. I can definitely ask.
Yeah.
I mean, they do listen to me a good bit. I'm fortunate. There's some good guys within that company.
Oh yeah, yeah. But well, they you can try it because a lot of them start healthy. I mean, I'll be honest with you. He said, please.
Dee's got a Patriot on the way to his house. I forgot. Well, he knows that already.
Shane, I'm free Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday afternoon next week. Here you go. You'd like to go visit the mill. We had some good meetings today for work. We're getting ready for a big outage in September. It'll be here, but I'm still trying to chase some work down. And, I think gas prices are going. I think I paid $2.50 a gallon for gas the other day when I filled the boat up. That's pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, I changed my oil, guys. It's that time of year. I changed my oil, changed my foot oil. Try to get it ready to go. And next thing, I got to put a water pump in there. I was talking to a mechanic the other day. You know, all that stuff. Go by Andalusia Marine, get all that stuff, guys. I mean, it's a good time of year to do it. You know, if you can't get it, if you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself, hey, let Andalusia do it. They can have that thing turned around and back
quickly.
To you.
Quickly. If you get on the service schedule, you can show up that morning, you know, hang out, go run your few little errands, come back and pick your boat up.
Exactly. Get on that. That's the thing, too, man. If you don't want to fool with it and don't have to worry about disposing the oil and all that stuff, hey, go by and get it. Can't change it too much because some people don't run their boats like John and I do. I'm changing mine every 6 months at least, you know.
That Yammy Hammy, she wants new plugs, you know, when it's time. So
that's right. I just changed mine. Matter of fact, I'm gonna change them again, John. You're right, because they start running a little funny. All it wants is plugs, you know.
Scott Seal said he needs some whitefish in his life.
Hey, if I had to deal with blackfish all the time, man, whoa. The whitefish are more aggressive in that water. They really do like it a lot better. I'm looking at all these rod cutting people. I've cut plenty of rods myself and put a weight in the end of them. My
yes.
I used to do it all the time.
Yes.
They make them little weights you can put quarters in and all kind of stuff or magnets or whatever weights you want to put in them.
Chad made a good point. You can do that. You can take some actually you can take one of those ring off pipe cutters and do what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And then haul out the bottom of the rod and add it back to the bottom. I've done that before.
Yeah. Yeah, you sure could.
You got to be creative sometimes.
Well, you know, you realize Outlaw rods, Eric Cagle's rod that I throw a lot, they've done so much. They used it and researched it. Say, I need to cut a little bit off of this. I need to put another eye on it. They do so much research with them until they get it. Hey, I like this. This is going to perform well. You know, just like those Outlaw rods, the line loads up great in those rods. That's the difference between a smooth, you know, performing rod is the way that line bends through those eyes. You know, it's not a steep angle and, you know, it's pretty smooth. And that braid will tell on it. If the braid's not going right through those eyes, it's going to eat up those eyes up. And Outlaw rods, John can confess for those. He's been using braid in them since he's had them. And they don't get ate up or get any cuts in them. So, you know, it's a win-win. Like John and I always tell you, if we use it and we're sponsored by them, you better go get it because we're not taking it easy on that stuff, man. I'll sit there and the guy I said, man, come on with it. You got the fish coming. They're like trying to grab the line. I said, man, you better boat flip that thing, man. I mean, these rods are supposed to be used. I mean, if something happens and it's not no giant fish, something happened to the rod. It's not the rod's fault. So it's been closed up or stepped on or something, you know. Me and John went on a trip one time at Lake X, and we're boat flipping 240s, 250s, 260s. We're coming with them, you know, just put the pressure on them. So
the biggest thing with the rod is don't high stick it.
Yes, that's right.
You go people.
Don't fill it.
Yeah, people reel the fish up too far.
Yes.
They want to grab up the rod to bring it in the boat.
Yeah, then you got all that pressure on the end of it instead of putting it in the back.
Yeah, if you high stick any rod, you're gonna break it.
Yeah.
Not an ugly stick. I don't know. Now
Blake wants to know. I use Daiwa Revos reels. I got 1000s, $48. John uses those Cast Kings.
Cast King Sharky 3 1000 series.
That's a great reel too. Drag system works great. And those reels are reasonable. You know, use them for a couple years and get you some more. I mean, DeAndre's after me. I've been to Boca Chica. I have not. It's about time to go. I went last August and put it on them pretty hard. So I'm going to have to go check it out.
DeAndre's been smoking them pretty good.
Yeah, he's doing all kinds of fishing. I see him. What about that fish that old what's his dang name called a 295 yesterday?
I
Marius?
saw that. Martinez.
Martinez, yes. Tommy's got me laughing. Let me tell you what happened here. Don't leave it. Let me tell you what happened right here. This is bad. Because I broke one of mine too. We went to Gunnersville. Y'all know how low them bridges are?
Oh yeah.
We laid them rods down in my seat in my boat. That thing's heavy. And I chopped 3 or 4 of Tommy's rods. I'm kidding you. I chopped one of mine. It wasn't good. But you lay those rods down, under those bridges. Be careful with them because
I ran a couple of mine up under a low bridge here. Those outlaws, and the reason I know I still got them because the skint marks are still on them.
Yeah, I remember you told me you went on that low bridge there. I knew you told me.
Oh yeah. I had so much momentum that I just let them eat, and I'm still fishing with them.
Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah, DeAndre Martinez. That fish. That would have been a good one in the spring.
It was a 295. It was a long fish. You really couldn't tell.
It was.
I seen where he caught that, and
it just needed that fat cap on it.
Oh man, you talking about a 330? 320. Big fish.
He was excited, and it's good to see anybody fishing.
Oh yeah, he was pumped up. I seen Eric cutting on him a little bit, and then, I seen people. Oh, it wasn't. But when he laid it up against that cooler, you could tell. It was a big fish, regardless of what it really actually weighed, because that baby was big. But heck, that hour done blow by already.
Yeah, I got to eat some supper.
That's right. I already ate. Been in the gym. I'm gonna get some stuff ready. But man, I appreciate all y'all tuning in. Appreciate all our sponsors, D and all them. They've been tuned in all night. All y'all commenting. I appreciate y'all. Y'all help the show keep going on. And John and I, we really don't even write down. We don't write down nothing to really talk about. We just kind of go with the flow. When everybody asks questions. Sometimes we get technical. Sometimes we just talk about equipment. Like the new Garmin Ultra 216. We get to talk about rods, and people, y'all just help us kind of keep this thing going. So,
this show, I've written my name down about 100 times.
Right.
On a piece of paper.
You're just scratching away. I have to make sure I thank Piggly Wiggly because I haven't really put them in the thing, but I really appreciate Tim and all them and Sage and Camden, man. Support your local Piggly Wiggly for sure. I'm friends with some guys that own several of them, and if you can, please do.
Chad, tell your brother I said hello and thank you again for looking out for me.
There you go.
Let me park my boat. So
yeah, man, we got a good group of guys, man. I look forward to hopefully having a crappie camp, a cast camp this fall. Try to get one when it cools off a little bit. Get us a big camp.
I saw somebody from the very first one come by my house today. Jeff Carwell.
Yeah.
He picked up something I had for sale, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, we'll get one going. Like I said, we'll figure out where we want to go, and we'll get to watch a ball game, catch a little fish,
Oh boy!
Brandon said I'll trade a snapper trip for a crappie. Hold on, Brandon. Hey, now you're talking somebody's language. I haven't caught a snapper and I ain't been a couple years, I guess.
You'll have to take Shane. I get seasick. So
yeah, hey Brandon, message me, buddy. We'll spot something out, especially when I get these fish at Warrior River and Demopolis. When they get fired up, it'll be time to go. It's fixing to get time. The water's settling down. It's fast and furious. So yeah, message me, Brandon. I'd love to go.
I got to run.
Hey, thank y'all. We're gonna get off here. We'll be back next Thursday. Like I said, I'm going fishing. John's going fishing. We'll update y'all. Like I said, order you some Cast King flat rock glasses, man. You won't be disappointed with them. Great extra glasses. Just to have in the boat. All right, John, go eat, buddy. Appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
See y'all.